Hi, my name is Jim Davis, President and founder of Leave the Silver. A couple of service announcements before we begin. Some of these videos might contain some adult language, some colorful language. If you are offended by that type of language, feel free to tune us out or go to a different channel. We have no problem with that whatsoever. Also, the opinions that are reflected within these videos do not necessarily reflect the opinions of other companies, such as Wizards of the Coast or Goodman Games or any of the companies that we may mention in these videos. They are our own and should not be taken to reflect any views or opinions about or from those companies. With that, let's go ahead and get started. One more disclaimer before we begin. These videos are very rough. They are not edited properly. We are not professionals by any stretch. As you're going through these, keep that in mind. I am just a person sitting here talking to you all. I'm going to stumble over my words. I have glare on my glasses. I'm going to look away from the camera. I may cough. All these things that, a lot of professionals may edit. And as we get there, we will start to learn how to do these things and edit them better. The first couple of videos, they're going to be rough. Bear with us. Have fun with it. We're normal people just like you all. And it's going to be fun as we get along with this together. So buckle in and let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What are we here to talk about today? Today's video is about the Wystramyr Core Book. The Core Book, in a nutshell, is about the Wystramyr world, which is an entire world for the adventurers to explore. We wanted to develop a world where the DM could go ahead and give everybody a little bit of everything. If you wanted to give a game based on high fantasy, where the adventurers are heroic and they wanted to go out and fight monsters and explore ruins and things like that. We wanted to have a place for people to do that. If you wanted to have a campaign based on political intrigue, where you want to get involved with the day-to-day operations and the nobility and their machinations with trying to seek power, we wanted to have a place where you could do that. If you wanted to get involved with a campaign where you have the superstitious nature of the people around them and they're trying to figure out certain aspects of witchcraft, or you wanted to explore things where magic is such a day-to-day operation, where you have things where even farmers use a little bit of magic in their operation, or if you want to have a location where magic is such a horrific thought, it's been outlawed. We wanted to bring all this stuff together. We wanted to have a world where whatever you thought of, we had a place for you. And that's what Wystramyr is. It is an entire world where anything can happen. We really have taken a lot of time to develop certain locations, and we are still developing a lot of certain locations to allow the DM a framework. That is what we're doing. It is not a fully fleshed out, here is every little tiny aspect, every little tiny detail. You go to a city, here's the ruler, here's the NPCs, here is this high level person that can snap their fingers and make things happen in an instant. And as an adventurer, you walk in and go, well, then what do you need me for? That is one of the things we don't like about certain parts of the game. We wanted a world where the adventurer feels special. You as an adventurer want to step in and go, well, why am I not the person who steps into the city and people go, wow, you're special, you're different, you do things, you get things done, you're noticed. We don't have this massive high level wizard who goes, well, I could snap my fingers and do that, and you as an adventurer go, then why don't you? You are the person who gets things done. And there are other people in the world who are adventurers as well, and they are special too. We wanted to have a world where you could go around and explore. And that is what Wystramyr is. So today we're going to talk about three things with Wystramyr. We're going to talk about the what it exactly is. We're going to talk about the why. Why are we developing these things and why are we doing it the way we are? And then the when. When are we planning on putting this out? I think those are three very important points to put out. So let's go ahead and talk about the first one, the what. What exactly is Wystramyr? Okay, the what. Wystramyr. What is Wystramyr? So I already mentioned Wystramyr is an entire world for your campaign settings. How it's being developed. Wystramyr is a framework, plain and simple. It is a world that has been fleshed out just enough that will allow the DM to go, well, here's the world, here is a region, here is a setting I want to use. What's there? We give you the geography, we give you the main history behind things. If you say, ooh, here's a city to start out in, yes, here's the city name. We'll give you a few details about it. Here's kind of the general information about it. And that's pretty much it. And that may seem like, okay, is that really a lot? It is, and it isn't the same aspect. We don't want to give you too much. I mean, if you really want to know, okay, this city has 22,000 humans and 18,000 elves and 4,000 dwarves. It's 2% of this and 3%. We're not going to go into that type of detail. We don't think that's necessary. We also don't think it's necessary to tell you, hey, this city's main export is sheep and this main import is silks. If you want to run a game like that, there is nothing wrong with that. And I do, and I have run games like that because some places that type of game can be relevant. And so we do have that type of information where you can see that stuff and you can actually come up with that type of thing if you need to. But we give you just the basics. We give you just enough to go, okay, as adventurers, what do you need to get started? You say, here's a city, let's go. What is there around there? And you can see, okay, well, there's mountains here, there's caves here, there's an ocean here, there's hills, there's all this sort of thing. Let's get started. And we are putting out adventures to kind of give you all that sort of thing. But what we really wanted to do was allow you all to use your own imaginations. So we give you this to start with, and then you can go from there. You can make your own adventures. You can use ours as well. You can incorporate your own into ours. You can buy other people's and put them in. You can even use our information and incorporate it into other things, other settings. You can use, first and foremost, we're using the, 5.0 books from Wizards of the Coast. The Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual. We're using all those core books and we're building everything based upon those. So if you want to keep within that setting, that's fine. And you can use our rules to kind of play along with that. If you want to use our setting entirely, and then come up, we use some of their stuff instead of ours, it's fine. That's what this is all about. It is for you, the DM, and you all, the players, to have another option. So what is Wystramyr? Wystramyr is just another world for you all to explore. And how much of that world has been explored? Well, that's the whole point behind this. The world has undergone so much upheaval because between the first age and the second age and the third age and the fourth age, and now we've entered into the fifth age of this world, there have been catastrophic events that have changed the landscape of the place, the people, everything like that. So the world is constantly in turmoil. Where there might have been an ocean is now, a landmass has arisen. Where there might have been land masses, there may now be an ocean. Where there might have been mountains, there's now actual plains and valleys and so on. Now this has taken place over thousands and thousands of years, but it is still one of those lands where you go, oh, can we go explore? Are there new things? Oh, there are plenty of new things. The book we have written is being written by the first person of a person called Gibble Pilferstone. And if you've been on the web page, you've already seen one of his quotes. He is a gnome explorer who has been around for quite some time, and he is one who goes out and explores and writes down everything he's seen and has been putting out this book for people to read. And that is what the Wystramyr Core Book is. It is from his perspective for a lot of it, and here's the world, and here's the people, and here's everything he's found. And he will be the first one to tell you, I am I'm the best explorer there is out there. And I've seen maybe a quarter of the world, maybe a third if I really want to push it and lie about things. And believe me, there's a lot to see. There are still islands out there that are completely unexplored. There's plenty of things to do. And that is what Wystramyr is. We're coming at it from an aspect of and I know other people have used this explanation, points of light. The cities are where people gather because they feel safest. So when you see the map, and the map has been undergoing some massive revisions. So if you've seen a copy of the early revision of the map we've given to certain people, know that it doesn't look anything. The geography looks the same. The city names and locations have been completely wiped clean, and we're starting over. Some of them will remain. A lot of them have changed. We're adding more cities, things like that. But these points of light are where people have gathered and said, we feel safe here. Past this point, there are always, you can find other settlements, other ruins, other cities, other villages, other encampments, you'll find other things. But these places are permanent settlements that people have said, I'm going to stay here. This feels safe to me. Whether the ruler is just, whether the ruler is a tyrant, it doesn't matter. They've said, this feels okay. I can deal with this. As an adventurer, you can play around with that. As a DM, you can play around with that. Or you can go out into the world and explore. And that is what Wystramyr is. It is something for the players and the DM to explore together to write a brand new story. We want to give you all the tools to do that. We want to give you the place to do that. And then we want you all to get out there and build your own stories. That is what role-playing is to us. Making your new stories. Okay, the why. Wystramyr, the why. Why are we doing this? Well, a little bit of history. We started doing this project way back when 3.0 came out from Wizards of the Coast. And we started getting it working, and we, for various and sundry reasons, determined that the time was not right. So we have had the world somewhat developed for quite some time, and we've used it in our own gaming group off and on, and we've made massive changes to it as the world has progressed. And then when 4.0 came out, we used it again as well to certain things. And now that 5.0 is here, we really feel like the time is right for us to put it all out. And we've been seriously overhauling everything. The why of things is the world campaign settings that are out there right now. There is nothing wrong with them. And I don't mean this sarcastically, and I don't mean this like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong, but as people will tell you when somebody says the word but, discount everything that's said before it. There is nothing wrong with those worlds. We use them. I mean, we buy the adventures. We run through the adventures. The reason we have built Wystramyr, and we are putting this out there, is we like to have our own stories. We want to have a world that is not mapped out to the, every 20, 30 foot. You run into the 20th level adventurer who can snap their fingers and get the job done. We don't want to run into a world where everything has been explored, everything has been mapped, everything, you get a map and you see every little tiny detail and you go, oh, this tree has been mapped out and I know there's a cave here and that cave is run by these people and everybody knows about it. Well, if everybody knows about it, then why hasn't everything been done? There are adventurers in the world. You are not the only adventurers. We like to think that. It is our story and we want to be the heroes of our story. But you know what? There are other heroes and there are other villains. And the world needs to be populated with this sort of thing. And more importantly, the world needs to be new. The world needs to be mysterious. It needs to be wonderful. It needs to be known that when you leave those city gates, yes, the first couple of miles, it's relatively safe. The city guards patrol, there's highways, and eventually you hit things like forests, jungles, swamps, mountains, hills, oceans, whatever you hit places that are not the cities. And the first thing that happens are encounters. And why do these encounters happen? Well, the world is dangerous. The world is dangerous for a reason. When people build settlements, they go, let's stay here. It feels safe. And bunches of people come together and go, we feel safe in numbers. Nobody goes, hey, I want to. Well, I changed my mind. Not nobody. Very few people go, I'm going to break off from the norm, go over here and start my own location. Some do. Some succeed, and hey, look, a new place built because enough people did that with the help of you, adventurers, and were able to start it. Some of those places didn't make it. Guess what? That's where the ruins come into play. That's where crypts are found. That's why when adventurers find loot, where do you think that stuff happens? It doesn't just magically get generated off of some chart and is thrown into the world. You find people who didn't quite make it. The why of things. You need to have a world that is fun to explore. We wanted to have that as well. And we've been using this for this time because we like to do that. We want to have a place that was not, here's an island, and after so long, you can only explore so much of it before it's the, okay, what do we do with it? And here's a continent, and you can explore it for so long, and after so much time, what more is there to it? We wanted an entire world. And a world gives you so much to do, so much to explore. You wanted to, and as I mentioned this before in a previous video, you want a place where you go, I want to run a campaign with dinosaurs. There's a place for that. And there's a way you can do that. I want to run a campaign that has my players decided they wanted to have a lot of fun with this, and they designed 5 paladins of this faith. They want to go on a religious crusade. Where's a good place for that? Okay, we have a place for that. We have places for that. There are places that is the norm. There are places where that is not the norm, but it will still fit. You can do it. And as the DM, it's your story. And well, it's not really your story, it's the player's story. But you're helping them develop that story. But you know where good places are for that, and you can help them. That's the why of things. Why is Wystramyr being developed? Wystramyr is being developed because we wanted to have a place to share with the rest of you all. We've been using it. We like it. Of course we like it. It's our place. We like it enough that we think other people will like it as well. And that's why we've been developing it and are going to be putting it out to you all. We think that we have something here that you all will enjoy as well. We think you all will enjoy it a lot. Are there going to be some differences? Absolutely. And we're going to talk about those in more videos as time progresses. But for right now, just know that the why of things is just because we wanted to come up with something new. Plain and simple. The when. Wow, this is probably the hardest and the easiest video of all of them. The when is we really want this to be out sometime in 2019. You go, wow, that's an entire year. Can you kind of narrow that down for us? The simple answer to that is no. We want to have this out. We are shooting for third quarter of 2019. Are we going to make that goal? We might. There are many of us working on this project right now. There are 5 of us. There are 6 of us. 5 of us that are actively working heavily on the project, and 1 person who is absolutely editing brutally the stuff that we're doing with the red pen of doom, so to speak, going, wow, you all use this word far too many times. You use this word far too many. You are in love with this word. You need to stop using this word in every other sentence, kind of a thing. This doesn't make sense. I have 5 people who are writing things, and they all need to be written in this form. So now we need to tailor it to this. It's great, and it's brutal, but it needs to be done. And editing, as anyone will tell you who does these kinds of things, is a thankless, horrible job, but it's so necessary, and it adds time to what you do. You have an idea, you develop the idea, you write the idea, you get ready to put the idea out, and the editor person comes along and goes, no, bring that back to the drawing board and redevelop this stuff this way. And it's a delay, but it's a necessary delay, and it's a good delay. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. People who edit things, wow, they are what make a project a good project, a great project. And they are wonderful for that. But having said that, yeah, there's that word "but" I mentioned in one of the other videos. Don't discount what I just said. Absolutely do not. Um, we want to shoot for third quarter of 2019. We could be pushed as late as fourth quarter of 2019, only because this is a massive project. Putting out an adventure that's 70, 80 pages, not that big of a deal. It is, but it's not that big of a deal. This is a book that's going to be 300, 350 pages or so when we're done, encompassing an entire world. We are having new character options, new equipment, new magic items, new spells, certain new rules. We are redeveloping a faith structure. So when you go, ooh, what kind of deities and everything like that? Are you doing something different than that? Oh, wow, you have no idea. That's going to be a video in and of itself. That may be a video series in and of itself. That is going to be a big one. But the when of this, in a nutshell, next year, 2019, we are absolutely pushing for that. We want to have it done by third quarter. It could be as late as fourth quarter. I don't think. I know it won't be any sooner than third quarter. So right now, summer. How does summer of 2019? That's what we're shooting for. If it ends up being closer towards Christmas, hey, that'd be a great Christmas present. But we'd like to go earlier. So if there's any doubt in your minds that this is happening, well, that's what these videos are all about. We're going to discuss what's happening in the project so you all are kind of kept in tune with it and get you all excited about everything. With that in mind, let's get these videos out there, and I hope you all enjoy watching my ranting and raving as much as I'm having fun being nervous about ranting and raving and putting them out there for you. And when everybody else in the group sees me doing this kind of thing, hopefully they'll be less nervous and they'll be more willing to do these videos as well, so I'm not the only one doing them. With that, again, I'm Jim Davis, President, Founder, Leave the Silver. Hope you all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.